parties like AIMIM, Asaduddin Owaisi's AIMIM got lucky in its third attempt in Bihar after bagging 5 seats in the Seemanchal region. AIMIM emerged as a vote cutter in Seemanchal. This is a Muslim-dominated region considered as a Mahagathbandhan bastion. Owaisi's party struck the right chord by blaming the RJD and the Congress for the neglect of this region. It has also raised burning issues like CAA and NRC in the rallies, which worked in its favor. AIMIM boosted the NDA's vote share by cutting into the Congress and RJD's votes in this region. That seems to be the story coming out of the Seemanchal region in particular, where the NDA, interestingly, is the party with the maximum number of seats. It has got most number of seats in the Muslim-dominated region of Seemanchal. Let's first listen into what Asaduddin Owaisi had to say.
मैं सीमांचल की जनता का दिल की गहराइयों से उनका शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं कि उन्होंने मजलिस के उम्मीदवारों को कामयाब किया और मैं उनको तयक़ुन देना चाहता हूं कि हमने हमेशा इस बात को कहा है कि जब हमने बिहार में अपनी सियासी सफ़र का आगाज़ किया तो हम इस बात का वादा किए थे और आज भी हम ये कह रहे हैं कि हम सीमांचल से इंसाफ कराएंगे। सीमांचल की सरज़मीन पर बसने वालों से पिछले 60 साल से इंसाफ नहीं हुआ। वो ना सिर्फ बिहार बल्कि पूरे भारत का सबसे पिछड़ा इलाक़ा है। इसीलिए सीमांचल से इंसाफ की लड़ाई ये जारी रहेगी और जो हमको सीमांचल की जनता ने हमारे उम्मीदवारों को वहाँ पर विधायक बनाया है, इंशाअल्लाह ताला हम उनके भरोसे पर पूरा उतरने की कोशिश करेंगे।
My colleague Tanima Vishwas joining me from the Mumbai newsroom to help us understand precisely this particular aspect that we are looking at. How has the AIMIM dented the chances of Mahagathbandhan? How is it that in this Muslim-dominated region of Seemanchal, the NDA has made major gains and have won the maximum number of seats? Tanima?
I am in Seemanchal, which is one of the talking points also that we have, because it has in fact been one of the impacts, one of the deadly brutal blows that the Mahagathbandhan had to deal with. If we look at some of the main points as to why we are looking at the Owaisi factor when it comes to Seemanchal region, which is largely known to be a Muslim dominated area of Bihar. So over here we have that MIM has, of course, as we reported, won 5 seats in the area. And if we look at the following pointers also, it says that AIMIM had targeted the RJD Congress combined. So if we look at all the points that Asaduddin Owaisi addressed, or his candidates in fact addressed in the rallies that they held in Bihar, these were related to NRC, CAA. These are the main points that the opposition usually is raising in the national platform. But in Bihar specifically, in the Muslim-dominated areas, Owaisi was the one who was raising these points through his party, which in other words, and he also used it to point out that this area was being neglected by the opposition, and some of these core issues of NRC and CAA are not being addressed by the Mahagathbandhan. As we know, Mahagathbandhan's main chorus has of course been around jobs and also the way in which the migrants crisis was being dealt with, but he stuck to the NRC and CAA issues in his rallies, and which is the reason why in fact that we can see that these are some of the core issues that he in a way took away from Mahagathbandhan and used it as part of his poll pitch as well. And they, as we mentioned, these are the 2 issues which were resonating in all their rallies. And what that in turn has in fact done is that has divided the votes. That usually this is an area which is known to have been a bastion of RJD and Congress, and their alliance was expected to have done well over here. But because of the AIMIM factor, the votes over there got divided, and some of it of course has gone to AIMIM, and also the NDA has largely gained because of this in a way fractured voting which took place over there, and managed to gain in vote share and seat share in the Seemanchal region as well. So while AIMIM has in fact dampened the chances of MGB in Seemanchal, it's the NDA which ultimately ended up scoring several points points from the area, getting a lot of seats than they had in fact calculated as well in their election math, because of the fact that AIMIM had in fact largely talked about certain issues and in a way targeted areas where RJD and Congress were expected to do well.
Yes, so this is again, very interesting, Tanima, what you're telling us right now, that the AIMIM has dented the chances of the RJD, and similarly the LJP dented the chances of the JDU. But fortunately for the JDU, it had the BJP to pull it through, and therefore the NDA has managed to get 125 seats. But we'll look at this factor more closely. Thanks, Tanima, for joining us. We are now joined by Mr. Narendranath Mishra, political reporter, and also Neha Joshi, spokesperson of the BJP. Before I go across for a reaction to Neha Joshi, I want to bring in Narendranath Mishra for a bit on this factor which Tanima just pointed out, that the dent and the damage done by parties like AIMIM and LJP in shaping the overall outcomes. Because when we look at Seemanchal, Muslim-dominated seats in this area, NDA has won 28, and the Mahagathbandhan has won 19. AIMIM has got 5 seats, and if we look at RJD's tally, it has come down exactly by 5 seats from 2015.
MIM Owaisi on 5 seats, 5 seats जो जीती, तो इसके अलावा 12 seats directly hampered. Out of 12, 5 to RJD and 4 to Congress. जहाँ पे ओवैसी की जो वोट रहे वो मार्जिन से अधिक वोट लिया वो 8 सीटों पे, अपार्ट फ्रॉम द ऑन 5 सीट. बट ये कहना है कि सिर्फ एमआईएम ने सिर्फ आरजेडी या गठबंधन को डैमेज किया है, एंड आरजेडी और कांग्रेस, एलजेपी ने इक्वली डैमेज किया है जेडीयू को. जेडीयू ने अभी किया एटलीस्ट 15 ऐसे सीट्स हैं जहाँ पे जेडीयू के जो वोट जो मिले हैं उससे अधिक मिले हैं उनके हार के मार्जिन से. तो इक्वली एलजेपी एंड ओवैसी एक तरह से इक्वलाइजर हो गया है कि दोनों इसलिए ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते. एलजेपी ने जेडीयू को पूरा डैमेज किया है और ओवैसी ने सीमांचल में गठबंधन को. सो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दोनों का एक तरह से हासिल सेम रह गया है.
लेकिन क्योंकि आरजेडी जेडीयू के पास बीजेपी थे, तो दे डिड नॉट लूज आउट in terms of the alliance, but the RJD of course was not so lucky. Even though the left parties proved to be an asset, the Congress of course had a dismal show, winning only 19 out of the 70 seats. Neha Joshi, to begin with, of course, this is a win-win situation for you. Not only has the NDA retained power, BJP has emerged as the bigger partner, but how much of it would you attribute to factors like the LJP and AIMIM?
Very good morning, and thank you for having me. I think we were very clear from the very beginning that the NDA is going to get a clear majority, and Nitish Kumar ji is going to be the Chief Minister again. That being said, I think what this election has shown us is that, if you work at the very fundamental level, the bijli, pani, sadak, the good governance that the NDA delivered in the past 15 years, that is what we went to the voters with. And the biggest, I think, takeaway from this election is that how irrelevant the Congress has become in the Hindi heartland. I mean, they tried to piggyback on the RJD, and while the RJD has made substantial gains in these elections, Congress is practically nowhere. And, we saw Congress spokespersons, in fact, get on a tweeting frenzy last night saying that, if last afternoon, I'm sorry, that, if the Mahagathbandhan wins, they're going to say Tejasvi won. And if they lose, they're going to peg it on Rahul Gandhi. So, at best, the Congress has been reduced to being a cheerleader. While we are talking about good governance, while we're talking about, what we delivered, they constantly spoke about jobs. And we're saying, great, you're talking about jobs, good. But what about what you did? I mean, 95,000 jobs in 15 years compared to 6 lakh jobs for the NDA in the past 15 years. So I think the people of Bihar, I've been saying this time and again on every debate that I feel that the Bihari voter is a very sophisticated voter. They know, what to vote for. They know, what they want to say to all of these survey agencies and news agencies when they come in. But they have firmly stood behind the NDA alliance because the NDA alliance has delivered. Whether it's prohibition, whether it's the self-help group movement in Bihar. Everything has been people-centric, and people have, yet again expressed their confidence in us.
राइट नरेंद्रनाथ मिश्रा जी, आप मानते हैं इस चीज़ को कि अलायंस में दो पार्टीज है तो उसमें क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? किसी के हाथ से कम हो गया तो किसी ने उसकी भरपाई कर दी, तो दोनों मिला के they have got a clear majority, and Neha Joshi का ये मानना है कि they have delivered. So I want to ask you that how much of it is really deliverance and how much of it is pure arithmetic, the way things worked out because of the existence of these smaller parties which has chipped away from the major ones?
तो ऑब्वियसली ये एक क्रिकेट की भाषा में ये एक पेयर की तरह होता है कि एक रन बनाते हैं, दूसरा रन कम बनाते हैं. बट यहाँ पे ये एक्सट्रीम है. जेडीयू बीजेपी से अधिक सीट लड़ी है और 30 सीट से भी कम जीती है. और जेडीयू के नीतीश कुमार सीएम थे, तो सीएम के नाम पर ले रहे थे. तो ये भी कह देना कि वो सब कुछ उनके ये कंबाइंड रूप से मिला. तो एक वहाँ मोदी के ऑब्वियसली ये बीजेपी और मोदी के नाम पे थोड़ा सा न्यूट्रल हुआ है. अगर आप इसको इतने इजीली मिक्स नहीं कर सकते हैं. 10 महीने पहले इलेक्शन लोकसभा जो 2 साल पहले जो 2019 में इलेक्शन हुए थे, आउट ऑफ 243 सीट्स एनडीए 223 सीट लीड कर रही थी. तो वहां से आके और उसमें सारे जेडीयू ने भी 17 में 16 सीट जीती थी जी. तो वो 16 हुआ 17. यहाँ पे एक गैप होता है, एक प्रैक्टिकल गैप होता है कि जहाँ पे आप डिफेंड कर सके कि एक वो ठीक है 74 सीट जीती और 60 लाइक 2009 में जब हुआ था तो उसमें बीजेपी ने तब भी कहा था कि उनका स्ट्राइक रेट अधिक था. लाइक 120 सीट जेडीयू जीती थी आउट ऑफ 143 में एंड सम 105 अराउंड सीट्स लड़के 91 सीट बीजेपी जीती थी. तो उस वक्त ये उठा था इसमें. तो लेकिन इस बार ये बहुत बड़ा गैप है. ये छोटा गैप नहीं है कि जिसको आप सिर्फ ठीक है अलायंस में 2 सीट से होती है. ये बिगर. अच्छा, नीतीश कुमार याद होगा इवन लोकसभा इलेक्शन में भी अपने आप को बड़े भाई के रूप में कहते थे. तो नीतीश कुमार न सिर्फ अपने एक बड़े भाई वाला जो टैग था वो लॉस किया है, और एक कहीं ना कहीं एक नीतीश कुमार के खिलाफ जो एंगर है वो उनको जो सीट्स मिली है उसमें दिखता है. वो हार्ड रियलिटी को एक्सेप्ट करना होगा.
सो जेडीयू के लिए ये वर्डिक्ट काफ़ी मायने रखती है. इस चीज़ को नज़रअंदाज नहीं किया जा सकता है कि पार्टी ने काफ़ी सीट्स पे लॉस फेस किया है बिकॉज ऑफ द वेरियस फैक्टर्स दैट यू जस्ट मेंशन. विल कंटिन्यू टू फोकस ऑन दिस एंड ऑन द डेंट एंड द डैमेज caused by parties like AIMIM and LJP. Thanks very much for joining us this morning, Neha Joshi and also Narendranath Mishra. Thanks for your time.